let's check in on our 5 steps. So we have our ingredients, we have our tools and glasses, our ice. Now it's time to get mixing, our skills and techniques. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you the very important steps of how to measure and pour. Let's get started. Guys, today I'm going to teach you how to pour and measure a drink. Now you need to know this because if you have a recipe, you got to get the recipe right. And if you work in a bar and you underpour, you're robbing the customer. If you overpour, you're robbing the bar. So guys, here I have a bottle of vodka. Bang. And what these are pour spouts. These go into the end of a bottle of vodka or liquor, and these allow for a nice, smooth, continuous flow. How that's done is, firstly, there's a hole right here at the end, and alcohol flows out of that hole. But there's a second hole up on top that most people don't notice, and that is where air flows in. And that is how you get that nice, smooth flow. So all pour spouts have 2 holes. If you look at this one here, there's a hole on top for the air, and there's a hole down here for it to come out. So now I'm gonna insert my pour spout into this vodka bottle. And this piece right here is gonna help it to fit snugly inside. This would fit into most liquor bottles. There's some that have wider holes. These are normal bottles. Patron would be a good example. That is a really wide hole. The typical pour spout is not gonna fit. Most people think that pour spouts are just for the pros, but I definitely recommend them for your home bar. They're relatively cheap and give you more control so you don't spill everywhere, especially when you're pouring into a jigger or a shot glass. Now, when you pick up a liquor bottle, you don't want to grab it by the bottom. You don't have a lot of control here. True control comes from holding the neck. And when you pour, you want to go straight up and down. Okay? This is the best way right here. And when you want to stop, you go down a little bit and just turn it off. Up and down, turn it off by rolling your wrist. And you could play with this because you could grab it from behind like this. Again, up and down, cut it off. Up and down, cut it off. So what to do is you're going to get an empty liquor bottle, fill it with water, put in a pour spout, and you can begin to play with this. Get comfortable using the bottle. In the world of mixology, one of the things that you see a lot now is bartenders holding bottles in all kinds of creative ways. Almost like a pool cue, as if they're doing surgery, and then coming in, but it's still like an up and down movement. They still do the same thing, but they just get fancy with it. So practice and work on your unique pour. At this point, most people will show you how to free pour, okay? But let's get to that next, because this right here is the absolute gold standard in measuring alcohol. These are jiggers. And a jigger gives you a perfect measurement every single time. So what we have here is this cup, and this cup right here is exactly 1 ounce. How do I know that? Because on the side of it, it says 1 ounce. Some jiggers don't have measurements listed on them. This one does. On the other side, it's 1.5 ounces. Now, in the past, you would need multiple jiggers. But where this one's different is there are other markings inside telling you that, hey, we have 1/2 ounce in here. We also have a 3/4 ounce if you stop at that particular line. So we have 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, 1 ounce, 1.5. You could make any drink with just this jigger. This jigger right here is really popular with mixologists, okay? Because it works like a small cup, essentially. So each one of these lines represents a different measurement, and it tells you. So there's a 1/2 ounce line, 1 ounce, 1.5, 2, 2.5. Then you could also measure in terms of tablespoons or in terms of milliliters. A standard shot in America is 1.5 ounces of alcohol. So I know right here, okay, this jigger, this cup is 1.5 ounces. So I grab my bottle and I go in. Now guys, be advised, going straight up and down with a bottle into a jigger is tough, okay? So until you feel comfortable, just hold the bottle and go to the side, okay? Until you learn to properly control your flow and you could go up and down. And that's good. And then once you have the measurement, you pick it up. And this allows less spillage than trying to pick up a full one of these, okay? Because this, for a lot of people, would spill everywhere. when it's full, when you have like a nice little surface tension bubble, trying to pour that is tough in the beginning. Guys, let's get into free pouring, something that every bartender does, at least on some drinks. So, a pour spout allows you a constant flow of alcohol. So as bartenders, we are able to come up with a count as to what should be an ounce of alcohol. So most of us use a 4 count, and it's a quick cadence. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in that time, an ounce of alcohol should have left this pour spout. So let's see, I grab it by the neck and I go up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cut off. Now let's pour it in this jigger and see what happens. As she gets a little bit of surface tension, bang. So guys, a 4 count is an ounce. That means a 1 count is a 1/4 ounce. A 2 count is a 1/2 ounce. A 3 count is 3/4. 4 count, an ounce. 5 count, 1.25 ounces. 6 count, 1.5 ounces, the standard size of a shot across America. So let us begin. So we grab our bottle by the neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we pour in. Ooh, can I get some surface tension? Can I get some surface? Ooh. Try to get your pour right. Try to get your cadence right. And if you practice, you're gonna get it. Guys, there are other measurements used in bartending that I want you to be familiar with. Firstly, a pony. I don't hear that often, but a pony is 1 ounce. Okay, so hey, give me a pony. The dude might be 100 years old when he asks you that, okay? I'm just telling you what a pony is. A next measurement, two measurements I want to talk about that aren't exact. That's a dash and a splash. A dash is when you're working with bitters. That's what it usually comes in. And that right there is a dash. Can you measure that? No. But if you go a little heavy or a little lighter, that should not negatively affect the drink. They estimate a dash to be around 1/32 of an ounce. Good luck measuring that out. The next is a splash, which is a little bit more than a dash. Then there's a float. A float is somewhere around a 1/2 ounce of booze. And you see this in stuff like Mai Tais. You'd put a little spoon here and just get a nice little float going. Bang, okay, that sits on top of the drink. It doesn't always like that. Sometimes the bartender will just pour it in, but it should float. You can see the clear line there. This spoon that I just used, this also has a measurement. A bar spoon is the same as a teaspoon, which is 5 milliliters. You know, certain ingredients, like for instance, some of the stronger stuff, like if you were mixing absinthe and you wanted a teaspoon of absinthe, that could really impact the drink. So that's something to be aware of. Guys, one of the most confusing phrases in bartending for a lot of people is the use of the word part. For instance, a kamikaze is equal parts. Now, a part is just an inexact measurement that they leave up to you. So if you decide that you want that measurement to be an ounce, that means a kamikaze would be 1 ounce of vodka, 1 ounce of triple sec, 1 ounce of lime juice. A vodka cranberry, which is also known as the Cape Cod, okay, would be 1 part vodka, 2 parts cranberry. And again, they leave that up to you. So that 1 part could be 1 gallon of vodka, 2 gallons of cranberry juice. It's totally up to you how you want to play that. Okay, go ahead, measure away. Float some stuff, dash some stuff, splash some stuff, okay, jigger some stuff, free pour some stuff.